present you this video on the European Pillar of Social Rights and some of the demands because we want to keep the ambitions high. We want to maintain attentions on the pillar, but also we want to explore avenues to make the European Pillar of Social Rights as meaningful as possible for the European citizens.
A few years ago in Porto there was an informal summit on social questions which also set targets. We need to check whether the European Union is moving towards these targets, for example, to increase the employment rate and reduce poverty in Europe. And if needed, we need to outline new action in order to reduce poverty and social exclusion.
As we start the new mandate of the European Commission and a new European Parliament in the context of a fragmented environment, the role of the European Pillar of Social Rights as a compass and counter-crisis narrative is more imperative now than ever. The pillar acts not only to enhance social cohesion and to strengthen the economic fabric of society, but it can also be a crucial driver in the green and digital transition.
In the midst of the ongoing parallel crisis, if we don't get social rights right, we won't be successful in the implementation of the transitionary policies that are needed. The European Pillar of Social Rights, through its action plan, was key to a lot of really important social policies and legislation in the past mandate period. But the work is far from over. We need to continue to push for a social Europe for all. We need a common goal to continue to fight for social Europe, something that we have agreed upon across the aisle.
We need to work together for an impactful EU social agenda because currently we are in a social crisis where 1 in 5 people live in poverty and 1 in 4 children. It is the time to actually address inequalities and reduce poverty. Together we need to build forces to identify the right policies, as well breaking the silos between climate, economic and social policy.
I would like to highlight that EU action is in particular needed, for example, to create quality jobs. Digitalization and the rise of algorithmic management has introduced a lot of flexibilities, and it's not ensured that people have rights and opportunities for collective bargaining and a possibility to negotiate decent wages and also to protect their working time. This is very important to maintain the right balance between work and private life, and this is also part of a good quality job.
One area to highlight is the need for new approaches to policymaking. Policymaking requires major shifts to break down the current cycle of permacrisis. Instead of constantly reacting to crises as they occur, we should prioritise preventing them before they arise. We need greater link between policy areas, for example, social, physical and environmental policies, to adapt a more holistic approach to policy making with integrated policy design, which adopts a more forward-looking, long-term approach.
One of the things that we would like to see in this legislature is actually a renewed investment of the European Union in employment innovation. For instance, the European Union could finance some of the novelties that we see in employment. There are plenty of good projects and initiatives that are happening at local level, at community level, at company level, for instance on shortening the working week, or on delivering on democracy at the workplace, or on creating local jobs guarantees. These are working. They deliver for the people, for companies and for the planet. We need to scale them up. We need to multiply this type of initiatives. Why not doing so with a special financial window of the European Social Fund that delivers on employment innovation?
The European single market allows companies to take advantage of various levels of wages and social standards in different member states. This is at the expense of workers, and it happens in particular in the context of cross-border posting of workers. Here, wage and social dumping are still massive. We have to implement the principle of the same pay for the same work at the same place. Efforts have to be stepped up in this regard.
We would like to highlight the crucial importance of a just transition in this coming mandate period. A just transition that is holistic, that encompasses all policy areas, to make sure that we advance both on social justice and social rights, as well as in climate and environmental policies. We won't be successful in either area if we're not doing them at the same time. We also want to make sure that in this transition people have the knowledge and skills needed to take part in the transition, to make most out of the transition and to understand the transition. So a skills agenda is also a key element in the coming mandate period.
The next social agenda should have a minimum income directive to make sure that everyone across Europe has a tool to be over the poverty line, because currently across member states the different minimum income schemes don't bring people over the poverty line. So it is necessary to have a common approach to that.
You know, social rights, including workers' rights, have never been granted easily. They are the result of a long, hard struggle. We must fight for them again and again. Now we are at the beginning of a new EU legislative period. So we join our forces and call on the Commission to deliver a strong social agenda.